April 15th, 1912. In the freezing darkness of the North Atlantic, over 1,500 people vanished beneath the ocean. The ship they were on was called Unsinkable. But here's the truth. Titanic didn't just sink because of an iceberg. Warnings were ignored, decisions were delayed, and some secrets were never fully explained. Tonight, we uncover the dark truth behind Titanic, a story of ambition, power, and human error. To understand Titanic, we have to go back to Belfast, Ireland. In the early 1900s, a powerful company called Harland and Wolff began constructing what would become the largest ship ever built. Titanic was owned by the White Star Line, one of the biggest shipping companies in the world. But behind White Star Line stood an even bigger name, J.P. Morgan. Morgan's company controlled the entire operation. Titanic wasn't just a ship. It was a business statement. It was part of a trio, Olympic, Titanic, and Britannic, designed to dominate luxury travel across the Atlantic. At over 269 meters long, Titanic was a floating city. Thousands of workers spent years building it. Steel, sweat, and ambition fused together. But even during construction, there were whispers. Pressure to finish quickly. Cost-cutting decisions. And an obsession with luxury over safety. When Titanic was finally ready, the world was in awe. Newspapers called it a marvel of engineering. Some even described it as practically unsinkable. It had watertight compartments, advanced technology, and unmatched luxury. First-class passengers walked through grand staircases, slept in lavish suites, and dined like royalty. But hidden behind the glamour was a dangerous compromise. There weren't enough lifeboats, only enough for about half the people on board. Why? Because lifeboats were seen as unnecessary. And honestly, unattractive. They would ruin the view of the decks. And besides, everyone believed the ship could never sink. On April 10th, 1912, Titanic began its maiden voyage from Southampton to New York. Over 2,200 people stepped on board. Some were the richest individuals in the world. Others were immigrants chasing hope. None of them knew they were sailing into history. By April 14th, Titanic was deep in the Atlantic. The ocean was unusually calm. No waves, no wind, just a dark, silent sea. Throughout the day, multiple warnings came in. Icebergs had been spotted ahead. At least 6 different messages. But something strange happened. Some warnings were ignored. Others never reached the captain. In the wireless room, operators were busy sending passenger messages. Ice warnings were treated as interruptions. Meanwhile, Titanic continued at high speed, over 22 knots, too fast for dangerous waters. Captain Edward Smith was experienced, but this was his final voyage before retirement. And instead of slowing down, he maintained speed. Confidence had taken control. At 11:40 p.m., everything changed. 2 lookouts spotted something ahead, an iceberg, huge, silent, deadly. They rang the bell, sent the warning. But here's the chilling part. They didn't have binoculars. The key for the locker was missing. Seconds passed. The ship attempted to turn, but Titanic was too big, too fast. It scraped along the iceberg. The damage seemed small, but below the surface, 6 compartments were torn open. Water rushed in, and Titanic was no longer unsinkable. Within minutes, engineers realized the truth. the ship would sink. It was only a matter of time. But what if the iceberg wasn't the full story? Some believe Titanic was never meant to survive. One theory claims Titanic was switched with its sister ship, Olympic. Olympic had been damaged earlier, and instead of repairing it properly, it was allegedly disguised as Titanic. An insurance scam. A deliberate sinking. Is it true? There's no solid proof. But the coincidences are unsettling. J.P. Morgan was supposed to be on board, but canceled his trip at the last moment. So did several other powerful figures. Meanwhile, a nearby ship called the SS Californian was close enough to help. Its crew saw rockets in the sky, distress signals, yet they didn't respond in time. Why? Miscommunication, negligence, or something else? The truth remains unclear. As the reality set in, panic spread. Lifeboats were launched, but many left half empty. People didn't believe the ship would sink. Others were locked below. Third-class passengers struggled to reach the deck. Barriers, confusion, chaos. Women and children first. Families were separated. The band played music, trying to calm the fear. And then, the unthinkable happened. Titanic began to break apart. Lights flickered, then went out. At 2:20 a.m., the ship disappeared beneath the ocean. The water was freezing. Most people didn't survive more than minutes. The silence that followed was terrifying. Titanic wasn't just a tragedy, it was a warning. A reminder of what happens when confidence becomes arrogance. Warnings were ignored, safety was compromised, and assumptions proved deadly. Even today, Titanic continues to fascinate us because it reflects something deeply human. Our ambition, our pride, and our tendency to believe we are in control. But sometimes, nature reminds us we are not.